Okay guys, welcome back to our workshop, and I have the honor to present our next speaker, Gloria Ulloa. The workshop is the teaching of different writing genders to develop learning autonomy, and I have a little bit of information of Doctora Gloria Ulloa. Doctora Gloria Ulloa has been an ESL and writing teacher for 23 years. Her outstanding teaching allowed her to be given the Teacher of the Year award in 2013 at the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional Francisco Morazán. She is an active researcher and thesis advisor. Her research interests include ESL writing, writing centers, and L1 reading and writing, 1 to 3rd grades. Her most recent research work focuses on the teaching of different writing genders to develop second language learning autonomy. She launched a writing center project at the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional, started the Researchers Club with students from the English program, trained students on writing and research reviews, published the research magazine Insights, and organized the first National Conference of Teachers of English. She coordinated the Center of Excellence for Teacher Training founded by USAID, the Teacher Project for Socially At-Risk Children at Centro Alcance with the UN USA Embassy funds, and is at present the coordinator of Languages Center at Universidad Pedagógica Nacional Francisco Morazán. And well, I am going to ask you to give her a round of applause.
Universidad Pedagógica Nacional Francisco Morazán is kind of like too long. We say UPN or UPN. Okay, that's how we shorten it. Well, it's a real pleasure to be here. We already had a very nice chat before beginning. Well, my name again is Gloria Ulloa. I'm from Honduras. So if I have an accent when I speak English, I guess I get it from Honduras. So, all countries have also different accents, and a second language or a foreign language. A real honor to be here. Indeed, I was invited to send my paper for the seminar, and I was like, how did I get this? But it was, a recent kind of like communication I had with Lenin. And I was really surprised to get the invitation. I sent it, and they said, well, you don't qualify for plenary, but would you give a workshop? So I tried to make this into a workshop, so that's why I'm here. It's been really nice being here. However, I completely forgot I was in Mexico. So yesterday when I went down to have my breakfast, I kind of like saw all these goodies. The first bite was terrible. I forgot food here was spicy, so I was like, okay, good food though, okay, but too bad my bad tastes are not ready for that. Okay, so I will have to live here for a while so I can get used to your different kinds of papers you have here. It's not only one, it's different. You get the red ones, the green ones, the yellow ones, the purple ones, so it's amazing. Very good, but I guess that's why when you go to the Azteca and Honduras and Mexico are playing soccer, that's why we can hear you, because you all spiced up. Okay, so very good. But it's a real honor to be here. Different context, completely academic, not soccer, right? Sometimes we're not that friendly when we play soccer, but we love Mexico a lot. Mexico was the first country that responded, when we had Mitch. And we will always remember that. We will really appreciate, how you guys, took all the equipment you had ready for yourselves, and they went all the way down to Honduras to really help us during, that time of really, really tribulations. But I'm not here to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about teaching writing. And since yesterday I was a little surprised when I was giving my talk, and I don't want to make this like a workshop as such, but a conversation. We're going to talk about teaching writing, and we're going to participate. But how many of you teach university level? Okay. How many of you teach B1, B2, C1? Okay. C1. How many of you teach A1, A2? You teach, yeah. We teach what they give us, right? Very good. We teach what they give us, and we have to be ready for those ones. Because my talk, my workshop, it's a study that was done with university students, but work for all levels, since this is what we're doing right now. And before we get that, a question: how do you want to be remembered by your students? You know, how do you want to be remembered by your students, like in 20 years from now? How do you want that person that was there in your classroom remembered? And I want, with 3 adjectives, I want you to list 3 things you remember about your favorite teacher. Okay, it doesn't matter that was preschool, elementary, high school, or university. 3 adjectives that describe your favorite teacher. I think all of you have a worksheet of paper there, so you can go ahead and use it. 3 adjectives. Okay, if you don't remember 3, it's because you saw only 1, so you can use only 1. Now, just 1 for that teacher you don't like to remember. 1 adjective that describes that teacher you don't like to remember because it was that teacher was not your favorite. Okay. Okay, good. 3 volunteers. Your favorite teacher. Here. Go ahead. Just 1.
Okay. Wise.
Wise. Understanding.
Inspiring.
Inspiring.
Helpful.
Helpful.
Interested. Interested in the school.
Interested, yeah. Somebody else?
Active.
Active.
Dynamic.
Dynamic. Okay.
Fun.
Fine. Girls, do you remember the way your favorite female teacher dressed? Didn't you want to dress like her?
Can? No.
No? Because you did not mention this, but sometimes you go, my teacher was really pretty. My teacher wore really nice earrings. Sometimes we remember that. Because everything that our teacher had, you know, was nice, was good about her.
I remember teacher Silvia.
You remember
She
teacher?
always used mini
Okay,
dresses.
okay. Counts 2. Now we go to the other side. Okay, what things you don't like, or how come you did not like this particular person? Grumpy.
Very stressful.
Stressful.
Unprepared.
Not ready.
Negative.
Negative.
Violent. I had a violent.
As that.
Careless.
Careless.
Boring.
Boring. Okay. So, those things we just said also apply to us. Do you want to be remembered as a careless teacher or as a teacher who was interested in the learning of the person? Do you want to be remembered as boring or dynamic? Do you want to be remembered as like someone who always knew everything or somebody who was not prepared? Okay? That doesn't mean, being prepared doesn't mean that we know everything. Being prepared means that I studied and I planned my class before I came to the class. Okay? So, this goes with the video. We're going to watch right now. It's very short. Some of you might have seen it before. And if somebody can help us with the light back there. We don't have it?
No.
Okay, thank you. What do we see?
Raccoon helping out her little baby.
Okay. And
Little
we
cubs.
assume those are what? Parents?
And
The mother?
her cubs.
Okay, the mother or the father. Dog can also be
Teacher.
used. Okay. We have a raccoon right there on the sidewalk, and we have two really on the high place. Okay, what happened here?
They help one each other in order to have the other one.
Do you think that that raccoon will need help later?
Later?
Later,
Probably.
as an adult?
Yes.
The ones up there were adults. Okay, so let's think about this and let's think about autonomy. Let's think about autonomy. And this can be applied to autonomy in learning and autonomy as you teach writing. I want to kind of like talk a little bit about a study I conducted at Universidad Pedagógica. And this is one of the sources I used, where we find that autonomy is one of the main goals of universities. And not only universities, also language centers, everything that is related to the teaching of a second language. So this one, they pay attention to this one because in the last 10, 20 years, 25 years, we have found out that we live in a global world. We have found out and we discovered one morning we woke up and we found out that we were living in a global village. Large cities, you have huge cities here, large cities, small towns, villages. What happens in large cities?
Disconnection.
What happens in villages?
No business.
Yeah, everybody knows each other. You know, I went to elementary school in the village. I knew every single family in the village because there are no borders. And if there are borders, they're very thin. So but we're living right now in a global village that is connected by technology. No borders at all, okay? And if we find any, they're very, very, very thin. So in here, you know, when universities try to kind of like work on an individual that will be autonomous, they are not thinking about the classroom only. They're also thinking about the outside world that, you know, is where your students are going to go. What's the purpose of the binational center? What do we do here? We teach English. Why do you teach English? Who are the ones who who come to your classrooms? Who come to your classrooms?
Yeah, it's the people who want to learn, who want to communicate outside of.
But why do they want to learn English?
Sometimes too low to those
Because they're-
other places.
Because they want to travel to places
Yeah.
where English will be needed, not necessarily where English is spoken. But then you go to Europe, you go to France, and you will find out that if you speak English, you can survive. Okay, that is a global village. Okay, so what else? What else?
Students. We also got students,
Students, and what do for the university?
those who want to have a career.
Okay, those that want to have a better job. Okay, for those ones who already have a job
For a promotion.
but want to be promoted. See, everything has to do with the market world. Everything. If I go to study a master's degree, it's because I want to get a better job. And better jobs mean better salaries. Okay? Because I want to travel. I want to go to Germany. Germany, you know, they speak German. But I can survive speaking English. That's why we teach not only English but also any second language, because there is a need out there. So, just 5 or 10 minutes about the study. This is a descriptive, this is a qualitative descriptive study I conducted at Universidad Pedagógica right when we have changed the curriculum. And our universities and language center are talking about competence-based curriculums or curricula. Okay, competence-based. Competence-based is not to teach you how to run and compete in a race. No, competence-based is to develop skills so you can go to the outside world and be able to compete with others. And then sometimes we see that these ones have better skills and these ones need to come up here so they can compete. Otherwise, the same ones will always, participate in this market. So, with this study in the competence-based curriculum, Universidad Pedagógica is a teaching university. That's what we do there. We train teachers for all the levels of education in the system of Honduras. And we were working with these 12 undergraduate future English teachers. So, we had gaps in the proposal. And somebody needed to really fill in those gaps. So here's Gloria, who's just coming back from the States, so we're going to give her the problem, and she's going to do that. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it through the teaching of different writing genres. And I started working with them. And I worked with them during 2.5 years. And I just finished the collection of the data last year when every single one that was in my group took the TOEFL test. What happened with those students? Those students were exposed to different types of papers, and those students learn how to do research, learn how to write, and learn how to communicate in English in writing. They came to me when they already had an intermediate level of English that would be like a B1 level. The results, since it was done with 12 students at my university, they cannot be generalized. It will be a mistake to generalize a qualitative study. Qualitative studies cannot be generalized. So this is what we got. This is what we got as a result. Okay, very strong decision makers, very good writers, good opportunities at universities in the States. Just 2 of my students did not go to a master's degree in the States. We just were sending the last 2 this year. Why were they accepted? Because their essay was really strong. Why were they accepted? Because they knew how to communicate their ideas. They knew how to go through the interview. Okay? So this is what I did, and this is why I decided to share with you what we're going to do here. So when we teach writing for different purposes, and you guys might say, like, how can this apply to an A1 student? A1, A2, you're lucky people, because you're the ones who are beginning to build this monster. Okay, you are the ones setting the foundation. So make sure you do a good job. So when they get to the writing teacher, they already have the language. We cannot teach writing, academic writing, if we don't have the language. Okay? They need to bring a level. They need to be intermediate. Because when they get there, we cannot be teaching the basics. Okay, so you teach the basics and teach it very well. And go ahead, and we're going to do the rest. So, what do we do here? How do we begin the process? How do you begin the process? What is writing? Do we like to write? Do we read? How many of you like reading? What do you guys read?
Fiction,
Fiction?
non-fiction.
Non-fiction? How often do you read?
How often?
Yeah.
Yes. How much is possible?
Okay, good. Are you the ones who carry a book here all the time?
No, like,
This doesn't read.
oh, yeah, Kindle.
That doesn't read. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, very good. Okay. How many of you write? Okay, you write. What do you write?
I write everything. I'm a writer.
You're a writer?
Yes. I mean,
What-
I'm a writer in the sense that I love writing. So
What do you write?
everything.
What would be everything?
Notes, things on television. If I'm listening to something, I like taking notes. So for me, writing is I write. I have written books that I haven't finished.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're not
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Just I
just taking
write.
notes from
I
TV
write.
might not, but if you
Well,
write
if-
books, yeah,
yes.
very good, very good. How about the rest of you? Do you like writing? Do you like to write
Once in a while.
once in a while?
Journal.
Journals?
Yeah.
Okay, but you keep a journal? Okay.
Yeah, I like writing thoughts and, stuff that is happening, in the world. So I really
Okay.
like putting down those ideas,
Okay,
like-
1, 2, 3. How many of you teach writing?
Yeah, well.
You start teaching
High
writing
school, and we are writing.
from
Yeah, yeah, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to do things we don't do.
Right.
So if we do things we don't do, we have a problem right there. Okay, we have a problem right there because it's like, okay, but just give me A1.